Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. It's Gabby and Janet here with the A-Team.
And in this video, we'll be talking about the actual cost of buying a house.
Yeah, so stay tuned. So people are always asking, how much do we need in order to buy a home? Well guys, the answer is different for every single person because every single transaction is different because it's based on, everyone's different situation.
Yeah, so if you're buying cash, obviously your costs are going to be a lot different. There are costs, but they're a lot different than if you're financing. And if you're financing, it depends on the type of loan that you'll be getting,
Right. So right now we're going to go over the overview of, let's just say if you were buying a $300,000 home.
Great.
And it was being financed.
So the first, there's three categories. It's going to be your down payment, so the cost up front. Then you're going to have your fixed costs, and these are costs that regardless of the price of the house, they're kind of going to be very similar. And then we have the back end, which are the closing costs. So we'll get started with number one, which is the upfront cost. So let's say you're buying a $300,000 home, and you're a veteran or active military, and you're using your VA benefits. Gabby, what's the down payment for that?
So if you're a VA, if you're using a VA loan, you have the ability to come down with 0%.
One of the best loans out there. So thank you for your service to all you active members out there. But yeah, if you are a veteran and you have not used a VA benefit, that is one of the best loans out there. 100% financed.
Yes. And then we also have other types. Even though you're not a veteran, the down payment can range between 0 to 20%. There's different types of loans. So you can get a federal loan, which is a FHA loan, which is 3.5%. A conventional loan that varies from 3 to 20% as well. And also, if you're a first-time home buyer, there may be grants that you may have access to that allows you to get into a home with 0% down.
Yeah, and these are the down payment assistance, and those might be a little bit more expensive in the long run, but I mean they help you get in the house with very little money down.
Yeah.
So down payment, like Gabby said, can vary anywhere from 3% all the way up to 20% and more, obviously.
So all right, our next cost that you're gonna go into is the earnest money. Now, Janet, what is the earnest money and how much do I need?
So the earnest money, if you're shopping for a house and your offer gets accepted, to make it valid and start the actual initial process, you have to give a earnest money, which is kind of like an upfront payment. And typically we recommend 1%.
Yeah, so the earnest money doesn't go to us. It goes to the title company in order to open escrow. Now, escrow is going to be the company where all the paperwork is going to be submitted, your title's going to get cleared, all the funding is going to go through there. They're going to take care of all of that. So in the end, what happens to that earnest money, Janet?
So the earnest money at the end of the transaction, it gets applied to your down payment or your closing costs. So it gets back to you.
Right, you don't lose it.
Right. Now we can go into our fixed expenses. If your offer gets accepted, you get your 10-day inspection period, and we always recommend that you get an inspector to inspect the house. Obviously, the inspection amount depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the house, what kind of inspections you're getting. A typical inspection, general inspection costs around $500, but it really depends on the size of the house, and of course, it also depends on the year, how old the house is, and if you're getting any other additional inspections like a sewer scope, you're doing a termite inspection, an environmental inspection, it all varies. But typically for a general inspection that gives you like the overview of, the bones of the house, it's around $500.
And that does include a termite inspection as well. Yeah, so the sewer scope is basically when you put the camera in the plumbing, make sure the plumbing is okay, that there's no issues. Strongly recommended when the house is a lot older.
Yeah, you never know when, there's cement down there.
Or roots out of a tree or clogged. Yeah. I mean, you never know. The other expense, which is the other fixed expense, which will be the appraisal. This is typically paid to the lender, and the average cost of an appraisal is about $500.
Yes, appraisal usually it's the guy that's going to come out there and give you their opinion based on the price of the house to make sure that you're buying it at market value. That if the seller is asking $400,000, that it's actually worth $400,000 and not $200,000.
Yeah. So those two expenses are your fixed rates. One of your final costs when it comes to buying a house will be your closing costs.
Yes.
Now, Gary, can you elaborate a little bit more on what closing costs are?
Yes. So closing costs range between 2 to 3%. We usually like to say 3%. These closing costs are going to be what conclude your transaction. So it's going to cover all your title fees. It's going to cover any loan fees, like loan origination fees. Make sure that the escrow company, the title, the HOA's fees, if any, are all paid.
Yeah, your prorated taxes and insurance as well.
Yeah, those would be your closing costs. So in the end, they typically vary between 2 to 3%, and they are not part of your down payment. So a lot of people like to get them confused thinking that it's 3% just in closing costs. No, that's an additional cost that you will occur at the end. Now, depending on the deal, or those could be negotiated sometimes. It depends really based on every situation and if you really need them.
Yeah, obviously the house has been sitting, quite some
It all
time.
depends.
We might ask for a little bit of help from the seller, but in a hot competitive market, obviously the seller is going to go with the highest and best. So it's not always, beneficial or guaranteed that you're going to get those paid by the seller.
Yeah, sometimes you may not even need them.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it, guys. I'm going to go over briefly again over the down payments and depending on the type of loan. So if you're doing VA financing, you're 100% financed when it comes to the down payment. That's 0% down. If you're doing FHA, it's 3.5.
It's 3.5%.
And if you're doing conventional, it can be anywhere from 3 to 5%.
3 to 20%.
3 to 20%, I'm sorry. And then obviously if you're buying a second home, it completely varies.
Yes, it can also be 5%. It all depends really on the situation.
Yeah.
Also, if you're doing investment homes and you're getting finance for them, those are a little different. Those are a bit more expensive, and then their down payments actually start at 25%.
Yeah, if you get a multi-dwelling, like a duplex or triplex or a fourplex. Anything over that will be commercial lending.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it, guys. I hope this video was very helpful. And as always,
thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
And as always, if you guys are thinking of relocating to Arizona and you're looking for a realtor to help you buy a house, don't forget to reach out to us. We are your relocation experts. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.